Good evening, dear friend. Welcome to this thing of ours. Lionel with you. This is our Friday evening. And this afternoon, I'm sure you caught it. I'm sure you were paying attention. All of a sudden, Candace Owens breaks through and says, you know what? We were going to go on vacation, as it were, when all of a sudden this happens. This new news that was reported, at least initially, by Baron Coleman, who has absolutely, positively enjoyed a meteoric rise. He has become the sleuth, the investigator in chief, and has exhibited an inexhaustible, an absolute uncorruptible focus on getting to the bottom of what's happening. So we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about that, why it matters, and why we're going to get to the bottom of this. And by the way, if you were a part of our show last night with Candace Owens and you were part of it, thank you. But in the meantime, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing this just to scare you. You can disregard this all you want. One day there's going to be a huge disaster, and you are going to be glad you had purchased this thing called a bug out bag, where everything that you need is in a bag, in a satchel, in a knapsack, whatever you want to call it, a container, so that you have access to it immediately. What am I talking about? I'm glad you asked, because this is simply the best. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged, grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. Indeed, my friends, there's so much to say and so much for me to go over with you and so much to remind you of. I want to just tell you that I love a good crime story, as I do believe most people in the world do. The number one podcast format is, of course, who is it? Of course, it's Granny Manny. No, of course. The number one podcast formula is, or genre is, true crime. True crime, 100%. The Tyler Robinson case, Charlie Kirk case, is 100% perfect, pure, true crime. Absolutely. I got to tell you this story. I had a conversation today, and it was from somebody, and this invariably happens. Maybe you've heard this too. Somebody asked me the question, are you picking on or do you hate Erica Kirk? And I said, first, and I'm not going to tell you the context of it. I said, first, you don't know anything about what's going on. It's not a matter of hate. When people hated Donald Trump, and they were hating him, nobody questioned why. Nobody questioned why. When people hated Hillary Clinton or hated Barack Obama or hated, nobody questioned this. Nobody said, excuse me, by what virtue do you, and a lot of people hated what Donald Trump did, but not Donald Trump. I'm going to say to you right now, unequivocally, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate them. I don't even know what that word means. Hate is no. First of all, you have to know someone. You have to be in their circle. You have to be around them. Oh, for God's sakes, it's the Garrison Project. And the Garrison Project says, thank you so much for asking CO what CK was like, what Charlie Kirk was like. Thank you right now. Thank you. That was my favorite question. The Jim Garrison of our time, you, Barron, and Web Sleuths are on the case. God with us. Who's against us? Charlie Kirk. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yes, I wanted to know that. I want to know a little bit about always what the people are. What are they like? Who are these people like? Now, let me just go back and say again, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate her. I don't know her. You have to do something to me or my family before I hate you. And then if I hate you, well, it's a different story. But I don't hate. Let me just get rid of that. Let me just get rid of that wonderful, because definitions are important, my friends. I don't hate. Believe me. And may I also say, by the way, John Bray, are you following him? John Bray does a great job doing so much investigative work that people are, of course, using and supplementing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of course you understand what I'm saying. Of course. You know why? Because you're smart. You're smart, for the love of God. Now, I want to read something to you, which I think is very, very important. And I'd like to, if I could, bring this to your attention. And this is important. This is a word. This is a term. This is something which people would kind of not use or not refer to. And for some reason, people are constantly saying, and I don't know why, but they're constantly saying, or I hear this, the detractors, that Candace Owens is a grifter, that she's on the grift. And for the love of God, stop using the word grift, okay? It's one of the most overused words on this platform today, a grift, a grifter. She's grifting. A grifter is one or someone who deliberately cultivates an image, a cause, an ideology, or persona primarily to extract money, influence, status, or attention, while privately not believing or living by what they promote. Do you think that Candace Owens doesn't believe what she promotes? Do you think she's saying this just for purposes of maintaining a channel? The essential ingredients are deception, connivance, that's a great word, kind of lying, and connivance, opportunism, and manipulation for personal gain. A grifter is not merely someone who earns money from opinions or sells books or changes views or becomes successful. Nay. The term is badly overused today as a substitute for engaging with arguments or ideas. It has gone the way of literally hilarious, no worries, and my bad. So let us get that. Candace Owens is not a grifter, not because we love her, not because she's great, but this is not the grift. Our good friend says, hey, Lionel, what do you think the motive was? His opposition to the war, the threatened opposition to the country is a cause, TPUSA stuff, come to light, or all of the above? Thank you, sir. That's a great question. Let's go through this. Do you want me to answer the question truthfully? Of course you do. I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening. But let me finish one thing, sir, if you don't mind. This is not about hate. This is not about hate. There is not one person here, and I mean this. There is not one person here who I believe immediately hated Erica Kirk at any point for no reason because she was hated. It started for me, not hate, but resentment, and realize, oh my God, we have a grifter here. We have a con. We have an exploiter. We have a I guess you'd call it a tragedy porn star. All of this happened right after the time she lay across Charlie's dead body. I will never forget that. I will never forget that. And she was mic'd so that people could hear her say, I love you. I love you, Charlie. My God. This just, it just, no, I didn't hate her. I thought, I can't believe what I'm saying. I can't believe what I'm saying. It's almost like Munchausen's by proxy or something, grief signaling. Look at me. And the second part was 6 days after the assassination, when she was doing this, whatever this merch push, this sales pitch. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Could not believe what I was seeing. Could not believe what I was seeing. I mean that. I thought this isn't right. And it's been downhill ever since. As far as the TPUSA crowd, they're children. But they are not, I do not hate anyone. And every time this woman has opened her mouth, we mentioned about this pseudologia fantastica, which is pathological lying, or mythomania, which is a great term. She lies for reasons that make no sense. She lies and tells a story for no reason. My dear friend, the great NWA wrestling announcer Gordon Soley used to always say he'd rather climb up a tree and lie than just stand there and tell the truth. She gets into these stories. But we'll move that to the side because tonight's subject is the evidence part. Now, somebody had asked, what do I think? First, we do not know the cause of death. Don't know. Don't know. Nope. Don't know why, because we don't even know what an honest appraisal and honest review from a medical examiner shows as to any projectiles or items found inside Charlie upon dissection of the neck. That tells us everything. If there were no pieces at all that were in any way components of or connected to the Rode mic, that poses a very unique situation. We don't know. I simply don't know. Why? Because we've been shown nothing. We've been shown nothing. Absolutely, positively, we have been shown nothing. This is the part which I think is the most important thing in the world. This, seriously. And I know that sometimes people might want to confuse, they might want to confuse being suspicious of with believing there is evidence of such. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, we do not know. I do not know. So that's number one. We don't know. If they dissected the neck and you said we looked and we found nothing, no pieces of anything, even from the lapel mine, or we didn't really find any bullet-like trajectories or anything that really acted like a projectile. We haven't even seen the thing that actually entered Charlie. Something hit him. Now, I think we're going to find something, but I don't know. And if that is inconclusive, truly inconclusive, so thus eliminating the rifle and a mic, I don't know what happens now. I don't think so. But I have to see the evidence. I have to see. And I don't want to go looking for the evidence. I don't want to find the road, Mike, because I'm invested in it. Because I want it to be. No, I want the truth. I have no interest whatsoever in doing anything, in proving anything, one way or the other. It doesn't matter. Just tell me what happened. Tell me what the truth was, and I'm a happy camper. That's all camper. That's all I want to know. So I don't know. Now, moving from that, the only thing I can tell you is that it's not a rifle. Why? Because there was no evidence. Because the gun not only was not linked to it, but may not have even been fired. Okay, now let's look at this. Do you want to know the possibilities? Let me ask you, does anyone here believe there was the remotest chance that Charlie was dispatched by Tyler Robinson? Does anybody believe this? Do you understand this? Does anybody believe that? Do you understand that? Does this make any sense to you? Does anybody believe this in any wise whatsoever? Does anybody truly believe this? Do you believe that Tyler Robinson could possibly be involved in this? It's critical. I can't say enough. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? And I say no. Absolutely, positively not. And I mean this. Positively, 100% not. Not Tyler Robinson. I do not believe so. Anybody beg to differ? Anybody, be honest. If somebody can say, well, maybe. Well, because it seems to me interesting that the person, this man who was there, did not have a rifle or anything that was even attributed. I don't know what he did. Let me give you an example. All of the people who were there that day in Utah, did not have anything to do with this either. They weren't associated with a weapon. They were just there. Tyler Robinson was just there. I don't know if that's him on the roof. I don't know. And here's the best part. Is it attempted? There's two types of inchoate crimes. There's other solicitation, attempt, and all this, but one of them is attempt. Was this absolutely positive? Did he attempt something? Was this attempted murder? If you do this, how did he attempt it? Did he pull out a gun? There is no gun. What did he do? Well, he might have been, on the roof. And he might have been on the roof and he might have come down from the roof. Think about this. Dick Shorty Long says the official narrative is as believable as 9/11. Oh, yes. So let me just say, thank you, sir. But let me just explain this. Don't ever hesitate in being thorough. I'm trying to find something. If the police had found him, wrestled the gun from them, if the gun had been up there, had he been shot or wounded, and he's up there with this gun, and they smell it, this thing was just fired. even then you'd say, okay, maybe. Because let's say he fired a gun and it missed. That would be attempted. Now, can he be charged with conspiracy? No. Why? Because we don't know who the person was that he conspired with. You have to know somebody, 2 or more people who involve themselves in a confederation, an agreement. He could have been there that day and said, what am I doing here? And all of a sudden, he hears this noise and he thinks, oh shit, they think it's me. Can you be in it? Can you be unwittingly connected to a conspiracy? So let's go do the list of possibilities. Number 1, who are the people that are available? Tyler Robinson. Number 2, somebody in TPUSA. 1 or more in TPUSA. 3, Erica. I don't believe that, but I'm going to the possibilities. So Tyler himself, TPUSA, Erica. Now we get into others. Israel. Could Israel have said this? Sure, they could. Does it make sense? Sort of, yeah. He was sure getting in the way of this and turning Trump off, trying to cut off that well, that spigot of money. Or it could have been Republicans who are themselves aligned with this. Not necessarily people who are Israel per se, but either Zionists, Christian Zionists, or military-industrial complex folks. I don't know. It could be a lot of people. We're not done yet. It could be other. It could be either none of the above or somebody we have yet to figure out. So yeah, it's a possibility. Now here's the thing. When you say, Israel, you did this. A country? Well, not a country, a government. A government? Well, maybe Mossad. How do you know? Why is Mossad everything? What if somebody in Israel, assuming it was, said, it's the last people I want. I just want somebody who's a good shot. Mossad's great for deception and disguises, but for just a plain old sniper, I've got IDF guys who are fantastic. They're better with weapons than you can imagine, if indeed it was a weapon, which now we don't think it is. So we don't know. It could be. And you have to find somebody who can link. And if it was it the country? Who killed John Kennedy? The United States? Did we kill John Kennedy? Did the CIA do it? Did the military-industrial complex do it? Did organized crime do it? How do you apportion who's who? And I don't mean to belabor the point. I mean this. Who are these people? They might be the superstructure, but who says, okay, I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to send somebody out on behalf of the government of Israel, on behalf of the board of directors of TPUSA, on behalf of this cadre of Republicans. We're going to send somebody to do this. I don't know what that means. That's kind of what you're getting. And people are saying, I know it is, because it seems the narrative is that right before this happened, Charlie said, my life is in danger. And they're really giving me a hard time because I'm turning my back on Israel or the war. And these people scare me. And lo and behold, there it is. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do you think somebody would go through this much effort to do this, to shoot him this way? Why not just make him go away? I promise you, he was exposed so many times to anybody with a rifle or something else. Why would you want to pick that moment, that day, in front of thousands of people where it could have gone wrong, where an innocent bystander, a baby, a child, a mother, an elderly person could have been hit by an errant round? Why would you want to do this? Why? Now, of course, someone says Charlie opposed Iran war, genocide, and wanted Epstein files. Yes, you're right about that. As did a lot of people. Do you think that by killing Charlie, what did that do? Did that stop the war? No, it made it worse. It made it worse. Every time something happens, when it comes to the whole Palestinian thing, October 7th, everybody was for Israel. Remember this? October the 7th. It was brutal. People coming in these propeller type thing. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? October the 7th, just like with us at 9/11, just like that. Everybody 100% was for us. In Tehran, they had a candlelight vigil. Russia called Bush and said, anything you need. I know where they are. They're in the Caucasus. I know these people. And then what happened? We went to war with Iraq and Afghanistan, and it was like declared war on the world and turned our back on everybody. So yeah, you're right. You're right. Charlie was showing these terrible things, and according to Candace, I believe, Erica at first pretty much mirrored that. So what I'm saying is, make your case. You're right. Motivation. There are people who, put it this way, did not like Charlie because Charlie did not like genocide, did not war, blah, 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 blah. So are you saying they were going to now take him out through an open public execution like this? What was the purpose of that? What was the purpose? I don't know. Does this make sense? I don't know. We don't know. Could be. Maybe these people are so bloodthirsty and so sick. They just love this stuff. They love grandiose things in front of everybody. The reason why they got Epstein. And we still don't know who got Epstein. We still don't know. We don't even know who got Kennedy. You're not going to find an answer unless you get somebody who, by the way, is caught. Had there been an assassin one time with the rifle that day, caught and arrested, and you find out he's an Israeli agent or something, that might be good. But we're not going to find this out. You're not going to get that link, that connection that absolutely satisfies what you want to know. You're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. It doesn't exist. Because people are saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Who killed Epstein? Who killed Epstein? I don't know. Who would want him dead? A lot of people. Who could have killed him? A lot of people. Who benefited? Cui bono, cui prodest? A lot of people. Does that prove anything? Nope. Nothing. Nope. But I can tell you it wasn't Tyler. None. So what we think is, you got to ask yourself this very simple question. And I want you to focus on this because it's very easy to lose yourself in this. Now, let me do this. Let's talk about what today and why it's important. I love the idea of, you know what the most important thing, most important piece that Barron and others had put forth today. Do you know what I think was the most important piece? Which I said, wow, this is something. You know what it was? What do you think it was? What do you think it was? What do you think this was? What was the evidence today? What was it? Really, I don't know if you saw all of it. Because some of this stuff, we don't really know what it is. There's that good impractical, tractical, whatever. He doesn't like anything. See, there are these people who sit around, they're just miserable. And you got to just say, what the fuck, you know. Sometimes it's fun to respond just to piss them off. But they're just, I mean, honest to God. Candace is a grifter. Oh, shit, not that again. She's not a grifter. She may be, whatever she is, she's not grifting. You just don't like her. She's popular. People love her. You don't care about Tyler Robinson. You just hate her. They don't give a shit about Tyler Robinson. These people don't care about him at all. They just hate her because she's popular. And a lot of it is, okay? And not only women this time, but people who are just thoroughly jealous. Like Ben Shapiro, whose whole world is just being sucked down like a toilet. It's over with. It's done. It's done. So the plastic, the glass, the shards, what is that? Where is that? Where is that? I need to scoop that up. I need to compare it. I like to look at it compared to the way a Rode mic works. But the most important piece, the most important thing that I saw today that Barron had showed was underneath, I believe, Charlie's left nipple. It looked like it was left because I could see the end was right here. His left nipple, not areola, by the way. You might pronounce it areola. It's areola, and that's not the nipple. The areola is the part around the nipple. Just like the areola is in the eye. It's the colored area that surrounds it. In any event, people have always thought that nip, the mammal. In any event. There was a piece, there was a perfect square. It looked as though, ladies and gentlemen, it looked like, let's assume this was a perfect facsimile, a simulacrum of the Rode mic. This square there was a square, well, put it this way, there was red, like redness, rubescence, rubefaction, irritation, inflammation, whatever you want to call it, redness, trauma, but right around a square. Did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? This is the one which I thought right underneath. Look at Barron's piece. It's excellent. Now, of course, I'm assuming it can be authenticated, but assuming arguendo that it can be authenticated. There was this square which completely comports with. You understand this? This is the most important part. There is this thing which I really, 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 really think. There's this part which I honest to God find fascinating. Right around this area, there was this wonderful little square, and it completely comported perfectly with the shape of that. Did you see this? It was beautiful. You understand with it? It was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. You hear what I'm saying? Are you catch what I'm saying? Everybody get what I'm saying? Did you? Don't let this go by. Don't let this go by. This was one of the best pieces because so far we don't know anything because lo and behold, we don't have any of the information that is in the neck that was absolutely any type of information or data, so to speak, that was extracted. You understand this? You hear what I'm saying? It was perfect. Look at the picture. I don't want to show it here because somebody might find it to be offensive. You never know on YouTube. Who knows? They said, oh, no, it's nothing. There's no blood or anything. It's a nipple. But right underneath it, there is this, you could see this impression of something that was square and irritation around it. Wow. Now, what does that do? That bolsters, that helps tremendously the idea that there was this device and it was there. Now, this looked almost flush against the skin, so we'll get to the bottom of that. So you understand what I'm saying? It says the mic was rigged with explosives that were used to shoot a projectile. Maybe. We don't know. One theory is that this had enough PETN or something similar to it that was allowed to directionally send something, a bullet, a projectile, a round, something. Now, let me tell you something. If you were to do that, my only problem with that is I can understand something like this that just basically concave the shot inward. And I would have put this directly right here, underneath him. so that when it did explode, it would go inwards and take out the heart area. It's very, very tricky for you to put something here, have it fire, and if you're not exactly in the right world, I mean, if it moves, if it slides, somebody could be taken out, some innocent person. Now remember, people who are the assassins don't care about getting the innocent, but they don't want the innocent because they don't want, first of all, to ruin their chance. They don't want their project to fail. Does this make any sense to you? You see what I'm saying? It's very dangerous and very, very iffy. Very iffy, this part here, for it to shoot out this way. Or as Tatum, what's his name, says, it's supposed to go, the bullet leaves and comes around and does a circle. Does that make sense to you? The angle of the projectile inside the mic would be at a 45 degree to make sure it went. Again, very iffy. One movement, something down, something not right. A magnet that doesn't work, a shirt, just one little slight adjustment. And if this, let's assume this, or the barrel, one little movement up, down, could end up being 12 feet. I mean, we don't know. This is probably one of the worst ways to do it. Now, again, remember, that theory makes sense. But what happens if nothing in the neck in any way comports with this? I don't know. What if there's nothing? What if there was nothing? What if it was, I don't know, something that just, it wasn't even plastic? I don't know. I hate to keep saying I don't know, but we don't know. It's a great hypothesis. It's a great way to start. Let's see what happens. But we're looking at items on the ground of the car, which very well, again, put it this way, we haven't found really anything that's glaringly disputes or negates this hypothetical. Does that make any sense to you? We have found nothing that negates this. So remember this. I'm telling you, I don't know. I need to find out. But I like this. Now, here's another thing too. And I remember when I was speaking to Barrett about this. You do know that we have not even had a preliminary hearing. We haven't even had an arraignment. We've had nothing. This is all before anything is even started. Anything. None of this is going to come up in the trial. Do you understand this? Nothing that we're talking about right now is going to come up in the trial. Nothing. Because how is it going to come up? Prosecution is not going to bring it up. Why would they bring up something that basically negates their theory of, I guess, Charlie and the rifle? And if you're going to bring it up, where are you going to bring it up at all? Maybe in cross-examination of a detective. Maybe in providing it as an alternative theory and asking the detective, did you ever look into this? No. Did you ever look at his device? No. Did you seize any information? No. Did you find the information inside, or the data and the evidence and the shards inside the truck? No. Did you find? So you can use this to kind of slip it in. But that's up to you. And is that going to confuse the jury or not? What I'm saying again, and this is very critical, and I want you to listen really carefully. I want you to really listen. If we went to trial right now, I would make sure, either preliminary hearing, you're going to advance the rifle theory. Are you not? Yes. Are you going to do that, Mr. Prosecutor? Yes. Any other theories? No. The rifle theory, right. The Mauser 98, right. This one there, that model right there, yes. The one that the dog or gun detection dogs couldn't find, yes. The one that has the safety here with the scope, yes. And you're not going to take anything apart. Okay. That's your theory. Good. Lock them in. Next, the confession. Let's talk about that. Because you could sit here all day long and we can talk about this. And these hypotheses are fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But what I want to know is simply this. How are they even going to get this into evidence? We don't know. But let's talk about something even more frightening. Let's talk about this thing called, this is important. Let's talk about this thing called the confession. My question to you is this, and listen to me very carefully. Was there a confession or an admission? Yes or no? Was there a confession or an admission? Yes or no? One more time. There's a bit of a delay here. I understand that. Was there a confession? Yes or no? Thank you, Angle. You say no. The sheriff did. No. Did someone tell Charlie to wear white? Don't know what this means. Where's my lint brush? Where's my lint brush theory? Where's my lint? Oh, here we go. Don't forget that one. Was there a confession? What do you call the text messages that were sent to his gay, fuzzy, lesbian, trans Lance Twigs? What do you call that? What was that? What was that? Was that a confession? I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to recall. I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was something to the effect of don't talk to anybody, but I hate to say it or remember this one? Okay. Next, there was the Discord. One of the best things that Barron ever came up with. Ever. Not came up with, but discovered. Sounds like he invented this. No. But he discovered was that the Discord letter, the Discord text took place most probably after he was already in custody, after he was Mirandized, after he was before the police. After. It's a big deal. Big deal. Big deal. How did that happen? Who wrote this? Next, let me ask you a question. Let's say you have a text from somebody. How do you plan on introducing a text? Now you may laugh at that, but where does the text come from? Does the text come from Tyler, or does the text come from Apple or the whatever the part of the, I guess, the Apple world or the cloud, or where does the text come from? Where does it come from? Where? It's not on your phone. Oh, there's a text. You can show me here. Here you go. There's this thing. Where did it come from? Did that come from Charlie's phone? Do we have Charlie's phone? What about a Discord? Where did that come from? Did that come from from Tyler? Does anybody have access to it? If you send somebody a letter, if somebody calls somebody and said, yep, that was his voice, all right, provided it's not AI, you can kind of authenticate it. What does a text on a phone mean? Can that be created out of thin air? Could the shadow government, could nefarious people create the illusion, the impression? Could they create this idea? Could somebody go, for example, to the offices or to the headquarters of Apple or Discord and say, do me a favor. I want you to write for me from that account to this account, the following. I did it. I didn't do it, whatever it was. Now, you may laugh at that. You may laugh at that all you want. You might say, that's crazy. Oh, no. That's a different story. That's a different story. Because if something has your singular signature on it, it's a different story. Now, let's look at the actual evidence of what was said. Was it a clear and an absolute confession? What's the difference between a confession and an admission? An admission is the agreement to the exceeding, the admission, if you will, but is agreeing to a set of facts or a particular allegation. A confession, and this is a key word, is an admission to the well-pled facts of the case. For example, if you say, I shot him, it's not the same as saying I killed him, or I murdered him, or I illegally took his life with malice aforethought and premeditation. DUI was either, if you said, I was drinking, Your Honor, you've got me, officer, I was driving under the influence to the extent my normal faculties were impaired, and I was under the influence of alcohol. That's a confession. That's all the elements of the crime. If you said, I was driving, that's an admission. That's part of it. I was drinking. That's part of it. I was behind the wheel of the car. That's part of it. That's just part of the storyline. And put it this way. If somebody says, were you fooling around behind my back? Did you have an affair with that woman? Did you stup that woman? I was with her. Does that say anything? I'm sorry, but I was with her. Wait a minute. What does that mean? With her in the biblical sense? I was at her home. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I defiled you. Did you or did you not have an affair? Do you see what I'm saying? You could probably think, well, that sounds good enough for me. But did I really admit it? Did I admit it? Is a jury going to say, I might be giving this guy, I don't know, not the chair, but maybe I think they even have, firing squads based upon this? You see what I'm saying? It's not what you think. This is a really crummy. And if some people really call into question, they said, he didn't write this. If there's one thing I can tell you, sir, I've known my son, I can tell you, Tyler has never written like this in his life. He's never used the word vehicle. Remember the Ides of March? I'm your vehicle, baby. I'm your... This isn't his stuff. And why is he telling her, don't talk to anybody about this, get a lawyer, but he's admitting to her and to Discord? And why does he turn himself into the police, but he doesn't admit to it? So this case is a mess. And before you even worry about anything about guns or explosives or anything, you may not even get to that point. Because believe it or not, the judge could very well say, you are not going to introduce into evidence a rifle, a gun that was not used in the commission of this murder because you've not been able to connect it. You are not going to introduce into evidence this weapon. You are not going to introduce this because there was no connection. It wasn't even fired. And you're not going to prejudice that jury, it's called 403 evidence, with something that is likely to mislead or is cumulative, or you're not going to introduce a rifle out of the risk that they're going to say, and even if you try to introduce it, what are you going to say? It was found near him. There was no evidence that it was fired. There's no smoking gun. If that's true, listen carefully. If that's true, and the judge says you can't introduce that, and moreover, if he grants a motion in limine or limine, which says you can't even mention it, So what I've given you is because I have so little information and I'm standing outside the stadium, hearing the roar of the crowd and trying to anticipate the score, I can only tell you so much. Now, before I begin, did you last night, I hope you saw it, did you last night see a little bit different? Did you learn a little bit about Candace, the woman? You know what I like the most? I like how she and her husband started to homeschool their kid. And she says, how do we homeschool? I don't know. Day one, okay, we're homeschooling. Alrighty. What are we going to do? I don't know. Okay. All right. Yeah. I like what she talked about her grandfather. Her grandfather, the sharecropper who bought the property. I love that. I like the story about how her sister said, hey, listen, can you help us out here? Help you what? Can you imagine the email she gets? You understand this? Look at this. Somebody writes here. There's zero evidence that the gun was not fired. You're saying there was evidence that the gun was fired, Rick Jackson? Is that what you're saying? If there's zero evidence that the gun was not fired, is there evidence that the gun was fired? Well, that is what I am saying. Where is the evidence, Rick, that the gun was fired? We'll wait. Where's the evidence that the gun was fired? Maybe the Mauser was fired 100 years ago. Could very well be. Where was the evidence that it was fired? And why does the ATF seem to disagree with you? Let's wait for Rick. No. Rick says, yes, the evidence shown that the gun was fired, but the bullet was inconclusive. No. There was no bullet was inconclusive. In fact, they never found the gun, the dogs, because it wasn't fired. And not only that, what's even more interesting is that when you look at this interesting part here that the ATF doesn't talk about, and that's the safety. The safety switch could not have been slid up by virtue of the positioning of this scope. Dick Shorty Long says, your interview with Candace was absolutely brilliant. I would have never thought to ask some of the questions you asked. It helped a lot to understand her as a person. She felt very sincere. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. And she also, I found, moreover than that, there's this thing about just, how do you say this? A very nice way about her. A very, very, you understand this? And this is the most important thing in the world. This is her attitude, her style, her way. Did you ever feel, let me tell you this much. Did you ever feel when talking to or about or with Erica? Did you ever feel that? Did you ever feel that? When you first saw, and I hate to keep bringing up Erica, but I will do this. Did you ever feel like, you know what, I like her? I believe her. Did you ever? I think almost from the beginning, the first time I ever heard her voice. Now, granted, there was some stuff maybe before. I wasn't really paying attention. I can't tell you that I watched everything that Charlie did, but I didn't see anything that, how do I say that? I never connected with her. The two things, like I said, was the laying across the body, and also that pep talk. But I didn't really notice anything. I didn't notice anything. But Candace has a thing. She has a little bit of like an authentic giggle. The person I did not bring up was Laura Loomer, who I think is just so. This woman's got some. I'm very. I mean, serious. This woman has. She's not going to have nothing. She's just. You notice how. And one day, if one day goes by, pay attention. If you don't see her for one day, 2 days will go by. 3 days. She's just not there anymore. I mean, not because she's not with us, but she's just. People will say, save your information. I like the way her I said, I asked her, I said, do your children have a British accent? And she goes, well, one will say cross. Now that's legit. We had an Irish nun in 7th grade, and I didn't understand. I didn't know about the cross thing. I didn't know what that meant. We never said. It was like, are you mad? The Irish are interesting. That's like the first time I said, you're pissed. I said, no, not really. He meant drunk. So I thought that was interesting. And also, I said, what about Charlie's parents? He goes, they were very quiet. I said, okay, very personal. Okay, private. Okay, very good. And I wanted to find out a little bit, but I want you to know I have some restraint. What I would probably ask in person. And remember, I don't want to put her in a position where she's going to have to not answer. But when she met with Erica, I think she mentioned it a little bit, but when she met with Erica for that first sit down, what was the real thing? Yes, the widow. But this was, I mean, I believed her. And I believe the sincerity of what she's saying. And this is a person, which is the most important. This is the bottom line. This is somebody that I would like to know. This is somebody, for example, if you were in an office and somehow you came across, hi, how are you? And you came across Candace, she won't be one you'd want to, like if you walk by her desk, you talk to her. She's just, I'm not trying to make her out to be a saint. She probably is, but I'm saying I really like her. I'm right about this. I am right about this. That given at her own, just take all this stuff away. There's something to her. There's something likable. And I was telling somebody today, I said, I want you to understand something. And please, ladies, I hope you say nothing. I hope you don't. Did you hear Megyn Kelly today talk about the Haitians? She's out of her mind. She's out of her mind. But she was talking about, and the Haitians, get out. I was like, ooh, that's not going to age well. That's just, it's not important. She's not running for office. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. We have 10 Lionel Nation memberships. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you immensely. Such beauty is this. But I got to tell you something more than anything else, which is so, so, so important. I cannot put into words, okay? I cannot put into words how critical taking everything as a whole is and you using every bit of your intuition. One more thing as I was going to say. What's so interesting about Candace, she is loved primarily by women. Men like her. Men think she's great. Women, her fans, love her. And I was telling a friend of mine today, and women don't like women. I'm sorry. Please don't. You know what I'm saying? You're almost saying, this is a woman I would want to be my friend. Well, it's not that women are not incapable of friendship. I mean that. The women have been screwed over by cutthroat women themselves who absolutely positively let them down, betrayed them. And that's why one of the reasons women are so good at being able to detect the fiction of Erica is because they know what I'm talking about. Women are horrible to each other. There's the exception, but for the most part, That's why women have so few friends. They don't have a lot of friends. They don't. They don't, they, for whatever reason. But isn't it interesting? The people that love her the most are women. Are women. Number one, Candace doesn't threaten you. And what I mean by that is she doesn't seem to want anything from you. She's not, she doesn't act better than you. You don't ever see her go, oh, would you get a load of this? Oh, who does she think she is? Oh, for God's sakes. What do you, oh, come on. This one thinks she's a movie star. Haven't you seen this thing? Oh, please, look at this. Imagine Candace on the set of The Five on Fox, or forget The View, because that's just impossible. But you would see Candace almost look at these people like, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. And they would immediately, they would not like her because she doesn't play with them. She doesn't accede to this. I know I'm going to make somebody very, very, very upset with this, but I know what I'm talking about. She hits you 100% as authentic. That's it. She basically says, this is who I am. I'm very happy about what I'm doing. Very proud. Got a husband, got kids, happy, mother, Catholic family. That's it. Got to go. She said she's sick with her kids. And, there's a genuine part. You know who else used to have that? Believe it or not. And I'm making no comparisons, but I saw this. Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, women loved her. They loved her. They just, wow. Something, I don't know what it was. Don't know what it is. It's a way sometimes a dog will know you're okay. How do you know that? You're a dog. I can tell. You're all right. Sometimes a dog, you ever see the dog, the tail on you, but how does a dog know? But this one over here, how do they know that? Babies. Do you ever see babies? They look at you like this. And they look. And they just are mesmerized by it. At first it's interest, and then later on it's a different. Doctora Latineda says girls bond with one another and to do battle against other girls. The guys do battle like playing basketball against each other in order to bond with one another. Interesting. Girls bond with one another to battle against other girls. But guys do battle, like playing basketball, against each other in order to bond with one another. That's so interesting. Bonding with one another, going to battle. There is also something, I think, there's reasons for this. There's just plain old reasons for this, irrespective of this. And if you're going to have a product out there, and I guarantee you, if Candace says she likes a particular product, you're going to believe her. Whereas if the other one did it, and I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. And TPUSA should have realized this a long time ago. My friends, tonight, if you are so inclined, from 2 to 5 a.m., I'm going to be on WABC, 770 WABC in New York City. You can go to WABCradio.com online. Mrs. L will be my first guest. We have Warrior Weekend, and I'm going to be talking about a variety of stuff where I can get into kind of like the occult. I'm also explaining to them the idea of how the limited hangout works in terms of UAPs. Have you noticed that? Notice how the government never tells you anything? They think they're telling you something, but they don't tell you anything. You think they announce, today the government doesn't announce anything. So in any event, that's important. So my friends, I thank you. Thank you so kindly for the super chats. Thank you so kindly for signing up. Thank you. We're going to have more and more of special deals for members and that sort of thing. That's coming up. We have a lot in store. So I thank you. Please follow Mrs. Ella Lynn's Warriors. By the way, she's got a great interview coming up with, I think, the longest running congressman in New Jersey. It's tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. So anyway, I thank you for this. Please follow her at Lynn's Warriors. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for making Candace feel at home last night. You are splendid. I'm very proud of you. And I'm very proud to call you my friend. I mean that. So have a great night, my dear. Tonight, 2 a.m. Eastern to 5 a.m. Eastern, Lionel, they call it Another Side of Midnight. What does that mean? I don't know. But it's me. So listen, and it's terrestrial radio, not like this. It's different. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious night. I thank you immensely. And please remember, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.